All right, guys, so it's time. I think it's time. Now, some of you might be like, what are you talking about? Well, the title of this video and the thumbnail is definitely letting you know what this video is about. But in case you don't know, we're going to tackle in today's video the Charlie Puth Lost album, the Forgotten album. We know that Charlie Puth, at some point, he's probably scrapped multiple albums, at least 2 albums so far in his career. But we know of one for sure that is kind of heartbreaking to know that he's scrapped. The period that I'm talking about in his career is around 2020. Of course, Voice Notes came out in 2018. That was an amazing album. Probably his magnum opus, I would say, so far. Whatever's Clever is really, really close to that, I think. But I would say it's still better than Whatever's Clever so far from what I feel. But in 2020, he scrapped an album that contained songs that came out in 2019, songs like Cheating on You, I Warned Myself, and Mother. These are absolutely incredible songs, and I think are among some of the best songs he has ever written and he's ever released. But, look, the album was supposed to come out in 2020. I don't know if some of those songs were going to be included in 2020. Charlie does seem like the type of guy to release a couple singles and then put those songs out like months and months later, almost to the point where it almost feels like a year. Kind of like what happened with The Light Switch, where he teased the song so early and he released the album later. But either way, whether those songs were going to be included, the album was going to have that type of sound, that type of feel to it, you know? I would describe this potential album to be just super melancholic and edgy. But the big question, right? Why did he scrap this potential album? Well, there's probably a variety of reasons, maybe even some that we're not privy to, like label stuff or industry stuff, whatever it is, but we know of a couple of things that are for sure. For example, if we look at his Twitter back in 2020, he said this, early 2020 actually, I scrapped the album I was working on because none of the music felt real. It's almost like I was trying to be too cool in a way. That's why you haven't heard from me in a while. Too cool, too edgy, perhaps you can say, right? You know, it makes sense that like the albums that we have gotten and the music that we've gotten ever since he made this comment, it makes complete sense. Like he's never really made a song, I would say, Lipstick was probably the closest to, you know, a Cheating on You, to a Warned Myself, to a Mother, you know, to a type of more edginess to him. But Whatever's Clever, and obviously what came out with Charlie, it's more fun. It's more quirky. It's weird. And that's what Charlie Puth has always been. And even his latest interviews, for example, he's become incredibly vulnerable. And he's become that nerdy, geeky music guy that we thought he was from the very beginning. And at some point, he decided to try to be a little bit more cool. Obviously, from Voice Notes was the first step into that, going into some of these 2019 releases. And obviously we know what Charlie Puth looked like at the time. Did the whole the buzz cut thing, and he bleached his hair and stuff like that. And he was just doing all kinds of things. Look, some people don't like that hair. My girlfriend doesn't like that. Now my fiance, she doesn't like 2019 Charlie. I think he looks kind of dope. It's kind of cool. It's whatever. He was putting out some of the best music he's ever made, so I could care less what he looks like. But I thought it was fine. I thought it was cool. So, in fact, the music video to Cheating on You just tells you everything of what this Charlie Puth era could have looked like. It was going to be the sad boy era, you know? It was going to be the edgelord era, you know? And I was totally down for that. And so Charlie and Whatever's Clever, exclamation point to be exact, are just the complete opposite of that, right? But this is coming from the man himself, right? If we go to Reddit, this is interesting. This is a Charlie Puth Reddit thread. Charlie's biggest mistake was scrapping that album. This kind of tells you a little bit about what the fan base was thinking and how they felt about this. I heard about a rumored scrapped album that was going to have the singles he released between Charlie and Voice Notes, Cheating on You, Free, Girlfriend, Harden Yourself, I Warned Myself, and Mother. I'm of the opinion that Mother and Girlfriend are two of his best songs he's ever written, so it's a huge disappointment. Hopefully some of it appears on Whatever's Clever. Couldn't agree more. That 2019 album he scrapped was full of bangers. I will eternally hate Elton John for the criticism. This is a big part of it. We know Charlie Puth loves Elton John. Obviously, Elton John has seemed to be some sort of a mentor to Charlie Puth. Charlie Puth performed at like this tribute concert thing for Elton John and stuff. And Charlie Puth likes sort of that era, like James Taylor and Elton John, that sort of type of music. Charlie Puth is very fond of that type of music. I'm not a big Elton John fan. Look, I like his songs, his singles, his big hits, but other than that, I could really care less about the guy. But yeah, he said that Elton John told Charlie Puth that his old music was not good. Charlie Puth opened up about his friendship with Elton John, calling the iconic crooner brutally honest. Indeed, when the pair teamed up for a duet on Elton John's album, Puth said John had some harsh words for his discography. He was like, those songs you put out in 2019 were not good. And apparently Puth said, and I was like, I agree with you. They were not good. I was working with too many people and I was losing myself. Puth released his sophomore album, Voice Notes, in 2018, followed by 3 singles in 2019, I Warn Myself, Mother, and Cheating on You. While those songs were previously intended for his third album, which was slated for release in 2020, Puth told fans last June that he decided to pause and recalibrate. Elton John said this about Charlie Puth, and it breaks my goddamn heart, okay? It just truly does. Look, like I said, I get the whole trajectory that Charlie Puth is trying to go for now, the type of creative style that he's trying to go for, the vulnerability and stuff like that. But ironically, a lot of these songs that could have been on this album are, I think, very vulnerable and very, very, I think, just much more than just regular pop songs, I think. I mean, yeah, some of them are just your basic pop song of, your basic weekend type lyrics, in a song, whatever. I think a lot of it has potential to actually deliver something unique and very vulnerable in its own way, while being melancholic and edgy and stuff like that. And so with this video, what I want to do is I want to create that lost album, that forgotten album. I'm going to put it together. I want to put a name on it, and potentially even a cover art, or I don't know, maybe at the end, I won't even want to put a cover art on it. I don't even know. I actually found it very difficult to even name the goddamn album too. I have several ideas, and I would like for you to have some input and think about what you would like to name it, or have completely different ideas. Who knows? But what I do have is the track list, the order, and sort of my reasoning, and obviously what songs are on this thing. So let's do it. A couple things before we get into it, though. I did 9 songs. That was sort of my idea. It's sort of contradictory a little bit to what Charlie Puth normally does on his albums in terms of track list. But why 9 songs? Well, because I think 9 is sort of the golden track list number for pop records and just for the greatest records of all time. I mean, when you think of Michael Jackson's Thriller, the biggest, greatest album of all time, 9 songs, okay? It's like a magic number. It's right underneath the 10. I don't know why. It's incredibly satisfying. Bruno Mars' 24K Magic, a pristine, basically perfect pop record in the modern era, 9 songs, okay? And I think even his latest album too, whatever, The Romantic or whatever, I think it's 9 songs. It might be 8, I don't know. But either way, 8, 9. You could stretch it to 10, but I'm going to go with 9, okay? So I just felt like that this is like, it's compact, it's perfect, it's like 38 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. It's just perfect. 13 songs, 12 songs, you could do that. You could do that. And it is a little contradictory to what Charlie Puth has normally done with his records. Obviously, his original record, 9-Track Mind, his first one is kind of bloated, very bloated. Voice Notes has a little bit more songs on there, Charlie, and now Whatever's Clever. So it's a little contradictory to what he normally would do, but I think to condense things, I think this should be a general rule for any artist, is condensing, making something thinner. That's much better instead of just putting a bunch of stuff. And here's the thing is you could pad out this album, to 10, 11, 12 songs and still have it all be fire. You could do that. But I think putting it at 9, and I've also even putting it at 9 songs, I was able to kind of arrange them and pick the right songs, I think. Ultimately, I mean, there's a couple songs that I could have added here for sure. I could have made this a 10 or 11. Maybe it could be a deluxe version. Who knows? That could be your choice too, or we can go over that. But the first song, what is the first song? Well, it's from 2019. It's got to be Mother.
He's such a nice boy, so well-mannered. He's so much better than the last one you brought around. Please and thank you, everything matters. I'm gonna make sure that she knows I'm the best she's found. The moment she walks out that door, I'm not pretending anymore. If your mother knew all of the things that we do, if your mother knew all the things we do, if your mother knew she'd keep me so far from you, if your mother knew all the things we do, sneak out the window.
So I think this song perfectly encapsulates what the themes of this album, the mood of this album. This song is very, very groovy, very Charlie Puthian, 100%. But it has this melancholic nature. I think it just sounds edgy. I think is probably a better word for it. And it's very beautiful at the same time. It's very hard and edgy, but yet very beautiful. And it's about this experience of his life. Maybe not. I mean, I think he's even said that this didn't even happen to him, that he just sort of made up this scenario to have it to fit this song or whatever. I think he might have said that. I could be wrong, but where he's like kind of a bad boy, and I just think it totally fits. This whole album is supposed to be Charlie Puth. It's supposed to be Charlie Puth's bad, like it's supposed to be sort of the antithesis of what Charlie would come to be, of whatever's clever would come to be, and Voice Notes, I think, is edgy with like a very shiny, pristine popness to it. But I think this album would go a little bit darker, a little bit more melancholic, just a little bit more, sad boy, and just lean into that, and I think Mother is a great way to kind of like ease from Voice Notes to something like I Warned Myself and Cheating on You, which of course are on this album. So I think it's great. To start off with a memory of like, I'm such a bad boy, like it's great. And some of you might be cringing on this whole idea. I don't care. I love this. This is an album that I wish he did put out, and it's a shame he's probably never going to do it. But we can dream, and we can do videos like this where I make shit up. So Mother's incredible. I don't even know if I've made a video on this. Maybe I have. Probably not, though. I should make a video on this song. The ad-lib game on this song is incredible. It's beautiful too.
That we do.
Beautiful. The first 3-4 songs were easy for me to do, okay? The second song is Like That.
Watching the way you move your waist, moving your hair out of your face. If we keep dancing, then I might move. Might have to end up at your place. I wanna know how good it tastes. You got high standards, and I do. Cause all those boys know what you need. I know the way to make sure you never leave. Yeah, if I come close, baby, would you like that? If I give some, would you give it right back? If I show you that I know where it's at, baby, would you like that? Baby, would you like that? Say you want love, girl, I know what that means. Make it feel way better than in your dreams. If I show you that I know where it's at, baby, would you like that? Baby, would you like that?
This song is top 3, one of his greatest unreleased tracks. It's a shame that this song went to Baby Monster. He should have released this song himself. It would have been a hit. Calling it right now. Maybe not, but I think it would have been a hit, okay? I think so. Could be wrong, but it's absolutely incredible. The ad-lib game on this song is phenomenal. The chorus is incredible. It's fantastic, and this is another song, right? Again, continuing with the very, sexual, kind of like edgelord, F-boy type of attitude, kind of raunchy, kind of, like it's, and I think, and some of you might be like, I'm telling you right now, Lipstick is not on this track list. And Lipstick is, I think, tonally can sort of fit a little bit with this album. But I think musically and the way that even Charlie Puth sings, it sounds a little bit more, it's closer to Charlie, I think, era Charlie than what this album would be. And it's a little bit closer to Girlfriend. Like Girlfriend's not on this, wouldn't be on this album. It sounds a little bit too Charlie-like. The production, it sounds like it would even fit on Whatever's Clever. It doesn't sound as edgy in the production as this album would do. And like this song is a straight up almost trap song, along with Cheating on You. And I think that's the thing. And also the vocal delivery too of a lot of the songs that are on here. It's not perfect, obviously. My list is certainly not the perfect list. I'm sure maybe your list would be better. But the way that Charlie Puth sings, a lot of these songs that he does in 2019, and even this one, he has this very like laid back, like, F-boy type of singing, where he's like, oh, na, 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 oh, it's just very just kind of like one note-ish, but that not in a derogatory term, but just like, it's very like cool, and he said it himself in that Twitter post, right? It's just, I was trying to be something too cool. Like I was trying to be too cool and all this. And it makes sense, right? When you listen to his interviews now, where he's like, there was that period of my life where I wanted to lie, or I wanted to like, just be too cool, be not who I was. And look, man, say what you want about that era, Charlie, but you were making fire music, okay? So there's that. And I think this song would have been fire. So in a world where no Baby Monster did not get this song, this would be number 2 on my lost, forgotten Charlie Puth album. Third song, I Warned Myself.
I warned myself that I shouldn't play with fire, but I can tell that I'll do it one more time. Don't trust in myself, no good for my health. You mess with my heart, now you're the reason why. Do you remember when you told me I don't have to worry?
I'm telling you, it's the same, following the same sort of type of vocal delivery, very edgelord, very F-boy type of singing, just, I love it. It's great. And this song is a production masterpiece, I think. I mean, he has this little video talking about how he made the song, and
we stacked a whole bunch of vocals, starting my vocal plus and put a little vibrato on it. Those are actual bees buzzing. I just pitched it up. Put some white noise. That sound, it's a basketball bouncing on concrete, sped up.
I mean, all this stuff here, bees, basketballs, just amazing, amazing stuff. I Warned Myself is an incredible track, and I think it deserves a lot more recognition, and it deserves a spot on this album. Absolutely amazing. And God, even again, it's so dark, right? It has this darkness to it. I absolutely love it. The fourth song. You know what it is. You know what it is. It's one of his best songs. Cheating on You, baby. Cheating on You.
It started with a kiss on your mama's couch. 2012 was nothing serious.
See, even like sort of, you know, the album obviously is not real. You know, it's not never gonna be real. But sort of listening to the songs in the order in which I placed them in, it really does, at least to me, it feels like a natural progression, but they all just sort of speak to each other, you know? And again, most of the songs are songs that he released in 2019. So it's maybe the later part of the album where maybe you will disagree in the way that the songs feel, but this feels like a natural progression, right?
When I found someone new, but when I touch her, I feel like I'm cheating on you, baby.
And of course, the bridge of this song.
I'm cheating on you, baby. Now there ain't no lips like your lips, and nobody else feels like this. There's no moving on, I'll admit.
Oh.
If you go away, yeah. I'm not saying goodbye,
Oh, it's
baby,
so good.
say it too. When I touch it, I feel like I'm cheating on you. I know I'd be better when I found someone new. But when I touch it, I feel like I'm cheating on you, baby.
It's so good. It's so good. His vocals on that and the little synth in the beginning, it's fantastic. Again, cheating on you, right? The type of material that, the lyrical material that we're getting, like that is very, you know, kind of sexual and, you know, and raunchy a little bit. Cheating on you is about romance, and it's about grief, and it's about pain, and it's melancholic, you know, and it is about relationships, and you know, and that's what pop is a lot, you know, about. It's about relationships and love, you know. It's a big deal. Like relationships are probably the biggest aspects of a human's life, you know, and most importantly, partner relationships. Like it's a big deal, right? The biggest or one of the biggest things in a human's life, right? So it makes sense why it dominates pop music lyrics, right? So yeah, again, cheating on you, like that. I warned myself, again, about a relationship, but edgy. And Mother, sort of I think it made sense to begin that song, it made sense to have that song be the first song because it was about a high school or college experience. It was sort of the beginning, right? So it makes sense to put it in the beginning. It's almost as if this album is a concept album. Mother would be like the very first experience in Charlie's life, and then it progresses and has like, and I'm not saying all of my order is follows some sort of narrative or through line or something like that, but or any like direct, you know, sequence. But you know, sometimes you got to place things where you feel like they need to go, right? And so for Mother to hear, you know, I think it makes sense. Moving on to the fifth song. This is where difficulty started happening because obviously, right, the majority of these songs, Mother, Cheating on You, I Warn Myself, these are songs that sound very similar, have a natural progression. Like That was the only one that was different, and that wasn't released in 2019, right? Obviously it never came out really officially, but I think it makes sense and it fit perfectly. But after this is where the album can start getting a little weird for some of you guys, and maybe you guys don't agree where it goes. But obviously, I think I did the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Fifth song is a little unreleased song called "Look at My Phone."
I try to fall back, try not to contact you, 'cause I've been through this shit before. I don't look at my phone no more, girl, I don't look at my phone no more, no, look at my phone no more, girl, I don't look at my phone no more, 'cause I know if I do, I won't get over you, so.
Again, it's very chill, very edgy, very, you know, F-boy type of thing. Like, and I use the word F-boy like a lot, but it's just, you know what I'm trying to, like, I don't know, think of like Justin Bieber's Purpose album, you know, or even his Believe album has a little bit of that edginess, you know, like it's what happens to any artist, at least any modern artist, when they try to have any sort of, you know, edginess, is they resort to having that similar type of sound, you know. It just sounds a little bit more sophisticated, a little darker, and I think this song is narratively, it's about, again, a relationship, but it's about like, oh, I'm not gonna look at my phone, and like it's about toxicity, and it's all about trying to forget about somebody, you know. It's about negativity in a relationship, you know, which I think a lot of these eras in an artist's life can reflect, right? And so I think it would be appropriate to have a song like this, but also musically, it sounds awesome. It doesn't sound like it would fit on Whatever's Clever. It could maybe go on Charlie, but not really. Charlie's just quirky and out there, and this one is just kind of, it's pretty chill, you know? Yeah, look at this.
So that's how you feel. I don't look at my phone no more. Girl, I don't look at my phone no more. No, look at my phone no more. Girl, I don't look at my phone no more. 'Cause I know if I do, I won't get over you. So I don't look at my phone no more. Girl, I don't look at my phone no more.
Obviously, I'm not just choosing these songs because of the album and the way I'm structuring and everything. It's also because they're just really goddamn good songs, right? This is a phenomenal song. So, yeah, I might not be talking about Charlie Puth's dad or anything like that, but it's an amazing song, right? So, and I love Cry, okay? I love Cry from his latest album, okay? So I'm just saying. All right, so that's the 5th song. 6th song is... I gotta look it up. I gotta see which one it is, actually. Oh, yes. It's a little song called Dancing with My Ex. It's a short song, but it's a sweet, sweet song.
I was standing in the corner. I could tell it was you by the way that you move. Oh, yeah. So I couldn't ignore you. Had to walk up, say hi. Then we just talked all night. It just felt right. Someone's lighting up her phone. I said, who's that? She said, don't worry about it. Put her head on my chest. I was dancing with my ex. Spin around and around like she never left. Oh, it felt just like the night we met. Memories putting these thoughts back in my head. Oh, I was dancing with my ex, making me wanna do things I might regret. Oh, it felt just like the night we met. Got a little drunk, ended up right back in her bed. Oh, I was dancing with my ex. I swear that it's been too long.
This is one of the best songs that he's ever written. My God. It is just absolutely melancholic, gorgeous, heavenly, and again, about sort of a negative / toxic / positive experience, a melancholic relationship experience, you know? And I think that's the best way I can describe this album and what it would be, and this, I think, perfectly goes with a song like Cheating on You. It perfectly goes with a song like Look at My Phone. It's almost low key. You know, a lot of these songs are very low key and edgy and dark and a little haunting, you know, and God, it's such a shame. And I something tells me that like his record label or something, or whoever was advising him, or maybe he even got to this point himself where it was like, Charlie was like, I'm probably not going to be able to compete with all of these bigger artists in a more mainstream way, because a lot of these songs would be targeting a mainstream appeal. You know, I mean, just think about the songs that The Weeknd has released, and a lot of the songs that were coming out at the time, a lot of these songs would, I think, fit perfectly for those pop charts and for the mainstream appeal. But maybe the mother and I Warn Myself just didn't catch on. They didn't have enough success. And his record label was like, you got to do something else, man, because this isn't working. Or maybe he himself said it's not working. And he was like, it's not working. And also, it's not exactly what I want to do anyway. You know, I don't want to chase that basic pop star type of route. I'm going to go super weird and myself. And he went with Charlie. And then he got even more vulnerable here with Whatever's Clever. So maybe it's that. But I can't help but think of a reality of of this album coming out, you know, and him trying to get again that top 5 spot on the Billboard chart that Attention had, or the top 3 or top 2, you know, whatever. Like, I think it had hit top, I think it was top 5. That was his peak, or maybe top 2. I don't know. But, you know, it's such a shame. And it's this thing where it's like, because of all of those things, of industry reasons, but also because of the fact that maybe Charlie got to the point where, because he has admitted that a lot of his earlier interviews and a lot of his earlier attitude, a lot of it was like a facade, because he felt he had to lie and sort of come up with all these things and act a certain way to be cool or to be part of the club, you know. And so he was like, I don't want to do that anymore. And now it's all about authenticity, you know, that's what the industry is all about. And so, and self-reflection and self-awareness and stuff like that. And so a lot of this stuff right here, it can do well if you're a big artist like The Weeknd, you know, or Drake or whatever. But so I don't know. It's just a shame. But a song like this is just beautiful. And I think this picture right now that is used on this on this YouTube video, this would probably be the cover of probably a higher quality version. I'll try to find a picture like this. This picture actually that is potentially higher quality, but that would be my vision of it. Like, that would be my vision of the cover art. Speaking of the cover art, so that probably would be it. I don't know what you guys think, but that would be it. Next song. What is this? The 6th song? So the 7th song. This one is this one might be the weirdest song to include on the album, because it kind of sounds like a song that could exist on Charlie. It couldn't, I don't see it in Whatever's Clever. Probably a Charlie song, but it's Forgot How to Miss You, to be exact. I think this song lyrically fits with the album and the themes. It's melancholic, it's a little edgy, but it's also slightly on the more positive side. And if you notice, I sort of switched the tone of the album to end on a more positive note. And the last song will surprise you. And that's all intentional, of course. But Forgot How to Miss You, I think it's still talking about relationships. And maybe musically would have fit earlier in the album just because it's more upbeat and stuff like that. But I also like to mix up things. Like, if we have a slow song, I like to have an upbeat song and a slow song, upbeat song, you know, like just not stack too much depression, you know, back to back. So, but Forgot How to Miss You is my favorite unreleased Charlie Puth song. Easy.
I saw your roommate on my way home. I guess your new place, it must be close. Somehow I see you everywhere I go.
Beautiful.
That used to fuck me up. I guess I heard enough. Had to love you, hate you, let you go. Had to learn to be alone. Used to feel so much, but now I don't. I finally forgot how to miss you, yeah. Seeing you happy don't make me sad. It took a minute to get out of the dark, out of my head, out of my heart. But I finally forgot how to miss you.
Just absolutely amazing. And I think the end part of the song is amazing too.
Happy don't make me sad.
Awesome. You know, and I purposefully, right, put this song after Dancing with My Ex. I think it sort of makes a little sense. You know, he's still hung up kind of on her, and then now with this song, he has moved on. So, and Charlie has mentioned that he has made sort of a similar narrative through line with his track list before, specifically with Attention, How Long, and Done for Me. So, I think it was fitting to include a certain narrative sometimes with a couple songs here and there. Not the whole thing, of course, but here and there. So this song to me is absolutely incredible. I love the verses. This is peak Charlie Puth songwriting to me. And I think the music is, it's not like super bombastic Charlie, like energetic, upbeat. I think it has enough sort of sadness to it that fits with this album, I think. And you always got to have some good upbeat songs in a Charlie Puth album, so I think this one would fit. The eighth song at this point, we're nearing the end. The eighth song is Hard on Yourself. This, oh my God, this one also is a perfect choice for this album.
I can see you struggling. Promise you'll find love again. Yeah, it will be alright. Why are you so hard on yourself?
Why you gotta try so hard? Counting calories and carbs. Another trip across the world. I go so hard trying to
make you feel just like a queen. You don't need a camera to make a scene. You were born like that, no Maybelline. When you first wake up, you're bad to me.
Pop another Addy, no sleep tonight. Can't push the whistle on feet and right. Over to the crib cause we need to slide. But you take so long making up your mind.
Little black dress, be your back. You leave 10 times, I'll take you back. Why you wanna look like someone else?
Why you so hard on yourself?
I can see you struggling. Promise you'll find love again. Yeah, it will be alright. Why are you so hard on yourself? Try not to fall apart. You're
Isn't it just absolutely incredible?
perfect just the way you are.
I think this song, again, it's edgy. It seemed modern at the time when he put out this song. It fit with, I think, a lot of what artists were doing at the time. It's trappy, it's hip hoppy, right? I think it fit perfectly, and it's a song that could have made it on the charts. But again, didn't really have a lot of success. So again, maybe this definitely influenced Charlie's decision to not continue with this type of sound, right? So I think it's unfortunate, but this song is absolutely incredible. And I love the Black Bear edition too. Features or whatever, if we can have it, cool. That's obviously usually a goal with a record, is to have a really good feature. But I think the Black Bear edition here was great. I think it was a fantastic compliment. And again, this is about relationships, sort of, sort of the male and female experience and stuff like that. But it's a little bit more on the optimistic side while still sounding melancholic and a little edgy. Again, it's the later end of the album. So along with Forget How to Miss You, it's a little bit more on the optimistic side. This one's about self-image and self-worth and stuff like that. I think it's really cool to put this song in an album where a lot of the other songs are about him just being like, fuck you, like, and so, or about him moping and stuff like that. I think it'd be nice to include something like this. Now, the final song. Again, this will probably surprise some of you, but I think this is what makes, I think the last song is really what I was most excited about putting on this album, just because of the way that it kind of contradicts the whole thing and the whole purpose of it. But I think it's, in a weird way, the end of this album, at least the transition to it, from the first sort of really edgy songs and going into Forgot How to Miss You, a little bit more optimistic, Hard on Yourself, which is a very nice song to dedicate to a partner. And then with this last song here, it's just sort of a way for, I think, narratively or thematically for Charlie or for anybody to be like, let me focus on what's really important, or let me like improve myself, but really just focus on more important things, and really focus on the human experience and what is worth really like talking about, like, although all those things are worth talking about, but at the end of the day, like, what's really important, and growing as a person, perhaps. I don't know, maybe I'm looking too deep into this, but of course the last song is Sick.
What am I supposed to say? I wanna look you in the eyes and tell you it's okay, but I can't. It hurts to know At the end of the day, all I can do is hope to my core, 'cause I don't know anymore. Thought that heroes don't fall out the sky. That was before you got sick, before you found out, before when everything was perfect, but now it's all upside down. Oh, if God could grant me one wish for today, I would take your pain, let me take your place right now. Ooh. Every night.
God damn it, dude. I think this, picking this song, again, thematically, you could see where I was going, right? Where it's just the contradiction of it and the growth aspect, the value of the human experience, like just completely going into a more serious, sophisticated point of view that earlier on the album, you know, it seemed like just like a fun, edgy F-boy pop record, you know, but Charlie Puth is capable of writing songs like this too, right? And obviously with Whatever's Clever, amazing, amazing songs that transcend, you know, and talk about the human experience at large. But this song, and also stripped down, right? So we needed a stripped down song for the album, because obviously with, for example, Voice Notes, Through It All was the last song. It almost doesn't even feel like it fits in Voice Notes, but it sort of, Charlie wanted to, that was on purpose, you know, to have it as the last song. A piano heavy song, you know, that kind of contradicts the very electronic poppy aspects of the album. With Whatever's Clever, the last song is I Used to Be Cringe, which is a very acoustic, you know, lo-fi type of song. And I think it would be very fitting to have Sick be the last song here on this album that we're making, we're coming up with. And this song just, I think the track list here, and I think it just covers, Charlie Puth is incredibly jazzy, incredibly sophisticated in his songwriting, and he can also write beautiful ballads like this. I think it just captures the breadth of what Charlie Puth can do. He can do hip hop, he can do jazz, he can do pop, he can do ballads. And this album, I just think, just would have come out. I think it would have been his greatest album. I really do think so. It just a culmination of his at the peak of his powers, you know, at the peak of what he can do songwriting wise. But man, this song right here, one of his greatest songs. Don't lie to me. You know that, you know? And I think an artist tackling a lot of these, you know, typical, you know, relationships and these types of lyrics, like, it's not a bad thing. Trying to be cool is not a bad thing. Like, Thriller was MJ trying to be cool, but also trying to make an impact. And so was Bad, you know, like, and it's just, Charlie Puth isn't talking about, you know, being famous, or he's not talking about loneliness, or he's not talking about paranoia or whatever, but, you know, he has songs like this, like Sick, you know, and Hard on Yourself, that I think a little bit just go beyond just the typical, just a pop love song, you know. It's like, oh no, these songs are perhaps trying to say something, you know, like, or trying to help somebody, you know. And so, I don't know, a mixture of all of this edginess and hopefulness here, I think would have really done well. I think it just would have been a great mixture. And again, it just would have been, I think, one of his greatest albums, easy, if not his greatest. Now some exclusions, and let me now turn to this page right here, where we look at the track list as a whole. And some of you might be like, well, where's Reply to This, right? Reply to This is probably objectively his probably greatest unreleased song, although now he released it with the Whatever's Clever Deluxe Edition, which I've made a video on, and I don't think it is the ultimate version of Reply to This. That song, I think it would have fit sonically with this record, and I think you could even put it in here if you want to make this album like an SSS tier, 100%. But I don't know. I for some reason I just didn't feel, and it fits with the vibe of the lyrics, the you know, relationships and stuff like that. But I don't know why I didn't, I don't know. I just, maybe musically I felt like it didn't really fit with this album. I don't know. Even though I could see it now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. Maybe we could do a deluxe version with Reply to This, right? We could definitely do that, and it's in the spirit of Whatever's Clever, with what he did with Whatever's Clever, where the deluxe edition is just one more song. Well, this is that would be the deluxe version. The original demo of Reply to This, that would be the 10th deluxe edition song, we could say. We'll do deluxe. Reply to This demo. Yeah, because this is to fix whatever the mess Whatever's Clever deluxe edition was. So there's that. Now, when it comes to the name of the album, I thought about these names right here. Laugh, go ahead. It's kind of funny, actually, but I thought about maybe Puth, calling it just Puth in capital letters, just like, and then he does Charlie, which is capital Charlie. That's cool. Feel, Diary, Ego. I think that would be a cool way for him to sort of reuse his first album that he made, which a lot of you Charlie Puth fans know that he made a first album called Ego, but it was sort of self-released. It was kind of, I think it was self-released. Yeah, it was like whatever. Had some good songs in it for sure. I gotta probably do a retrospective on that, but and then there's Memories. So I don't know. So different, kind of edgy, like again, it kind of goes with the album. I don't really know which one I kind of go with first. I think of Ego perfectly. I think it makes sense. Ego is a great title for all these songs. And I think the contradiction of it, especially towards the end of the track list and thematically, I think it makes sense. Memories, right, is very self-explanatory. All these songs could be related to certain memories in his life. Feel, I think, is a beautiful word for this album. A lot of feelings, right? Love, passion, lust, self-worth, right? And value and grief. Like it's all that, right? Diary, I think, would be cool too. That one's sort of in the spirit of voice notes, right? Because I knew he likes that. He seems to like 1 word, 2 word at most, album titles, except with 9-Track Mind. Although 9-Track Mind I don't count. I don't really consider that really. So I wanted to go with short, punchy, and these are the terms, the titles I came up with. Let me know what you have to say. Let me know what your thoughts are on the title. Maybe you have a better title than me. Of course, tell me your track list down below. What would be your Forgotten Lost Charlie Puth album? I'm very excited. I think this is going to be great for discussion and stuff like that. But I don't know. That's it for me, you guys. I mean, what do you think? This video, again, is way the hell too long, but it's fine. I'm sure you guys don't mind. But yeah, that's my list. I want to know, again, wanted to go for edgy. I wanted to go for just more sophisticated, or just darker and more edgelord. I don't care. Screw it. Let's go for it. The music video for Cheating on You was absolutely beautiful. Mother was awesome. And I was so excited for that era of Charlie Puth, and we just didn't get it. So it's very unfortunate, but this is my way of doing it. And maybe, I don't know, I don't know. I don't know. It'll probably just be a YouTube playlist where I'll put all these songs together and I'll name it. And that's going to be my album for Charlie, for his third lost, forgotten album. Okay, that's going to be it right here. But yeah, this was an incredibly fun video, guys. That's going to be it for me. Give this video a like if you like. Dislike it if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content. You want to see more stuff like this. If it's your birthday, happy birthday to you, you beautiful creature. Go ahead and leave a tip down below, along in the description box or whatever, a little gift as YouTube calls it, or a super or whatever. It's my way of making some kind of revenue, because the monetization for the video, this video is going to get copyrighted to hell. So this video has no chance of making money. So if you enjoy this and you want to give it toss it a couple bucks, I would really appreciate that. But yeah, that's it for me. You all take care, stay safe, and until next time, I love you.